This will become more apparent as we go on. All right, he did something yesterday that no other president has ever done in the history of this republic. Joe Biden trashed his country to the world. All right, here's what he said.
It was a murder in the full light of day, and it ripped the blinders off for the whole world to see. The systemic racism the Vice President just referred to. There was systemic racism that's a stain on our nation's soul. The knee on the neck of justice for Black Americans. Profound fear and trauma. The pain, the exhaustion Black and brown Americans experience every single day.
So he trashed the United States, told the whole world that we're a racist country, systemic racism. That means that every part of American society has an element that persecutes African Americans. That's what systemic racism means. Every part. Now that's not true, but even further than that, he's the president of the country. He's trashing his own nation. So I asked my researchers, and they're the best, find out if any president has ever done that. No. Barack Obama, after he left office, has made some nebulous, dubious statements. But never while he was serving in the White House did he do that. And of course, none of the others did. But Joe Biden stands up there and indicts all Americans. All right? All Caucasians, all non-blacks, and says, you're a problem. Never mind the 80,000 law enforcement agents in this country who risk their lives, and you know the cliche, okay? Now, there are some bad people. I must have heard the word bad apple on the media yesterday 1,000 times, because these media people are basically parrots. They don't think. They're not thinkers. They're not looking for the truth. Bad apples. All right. As soon as I hear that, I know I'm listening to a moron. So, what I'm going to tell you now is vitally important for you to understand. Number one, the reason that Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer, was convicted is because he displayed depraved indifference to George Floyd. And under Minnesota law, Chauvin's depraved indifference, all right, fell into the second-degree murder category, and the third degree, and the manslaughter, so that's why he's convicted. The jury did the right thing, and we'll get to the jury in a moment. Now, there's no question the mob on the left and the inciters and the haters put pressure on the case to convict. Nobody in that crew was looking for anything other than an execution. I mean, if they could, as I said, they would have killed Derek Chauvin. So, when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get up there and they say to the world, America's really a horrible place and has always been horrible. Our Constitution, our founding fathers, our freedoms are all based on racism. That's what they're saying. A lot of people believe it. And many millions of African Americans believe it, particularly children, younger people. They believe it because it's easy to believe it. It's much harder to say, nah. Now, there are a few African Americans that are speaking out against this false narrative, and that's what it is. But here's the real tipping point, so you all understand how serious this is. You have a half dozen media companies with billions of dollars and access to you through the television set that have picked up on this fallacious narrative and are ramming it down our throats every single day. AT&T, CNN, Comcast, NBC, Disney, ABC, the CBS people. These are billion-dollar companies with enormous power. They are all actively pushing the narrative that America is a racist country. I talk about this with Sean Hannity on his radio program today. It's accessed on BillO'Reilly.com. You can listen to it, and I hope you do. Okay, so I say it's a false narrative. So your question should be, well, back it up, O'Reilly, you big mouth. Back it up. Here we go. The one agency that compiles police shooting data in this country is the Washington Post, an extremely liberal newspaper. They have a database that they add to every time there's a police shooting. Okay. According to the Washington Post database, in 2019, there were 26 white people shot by police who were unarmed. Now, they may have had a knife or they may have had a baseball bat, but they didn't have a weapon. 26 white people in 2019. 12 black people. 12. Last year, 2020, 24 white people unarmed, shot by police, 18 black people. Total in 2 years, 50 whites, 30 blacks. That sound like an epidemic to you? There are 80,000 law enforcement officers. Violent crime in this country is through the roof. Murders in our major urban centers are staggering. Drug trafficking, never seen this kind of drug trafficking before, anywhere. You got 80 people in 2 years, most of them white, in those two categories. I'm sure there were, I don't think there were any Asians, but there were some Hispanics. All right, so that's not an epidemic. It's not systemic racism. That's the truth. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Did you hear that statistic reported anywhere? Did you read it anywhere? If you did, please let me know. Because I haven't, and my whole life is monitoring what's happening in this country. Do you think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris know that stat? Do you think they care about that stat? They don't. Because as long as they can weave a narrative, backed up by the corporate media, that says we Democrats, we liberals, we progressives are going to confront and solve systemic racism, they're going to have a good shot at power. That's what this is all about. Now, Hannity did something interesting. He said, well, in Joe Biden's career, he's been exactly the opposite of this. He's been a tough guy against African-American crime in his senatorial past. And I said to Sean, with all due respect, I don't care about that. Maybe he's evolved. Maybe he's woke. I don't care. I care about what he did to America yesterday. He hurt this country. He hurt me. He hurt my family. I don't want my children thinking they're racist. Do you want your children thinking they're racist if you're white? Do you want the President of the United States putting that out? I don't. I have no respect for Joe Biden. Yesterday was it. All right. 3 more officers will be tried in Minneapolis. They are Alexander Kang, Total, Thomas Lane. They were all on the scene with the Floyd murder. We can call it that now. And they are charged with aiding and abetting, second-degree murder. They will be tried on August 23rd together.